Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another very big edition of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Like you always do, thank you very much for choosing Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. There's a lot to unpack for you. We'll talk you through that. Chelsea are losing close to £88 million just because they couldn't qualify for Europe, and there's the reason why I hate the fact that a lot of Chelsea fans think that just because they are going to sell players are going to get back on track. That's not true. There are lots of issues that's going to go on. We'll talk about all of that stuff again. There are games that are going to go on over the weekend. We'll preview them for you. Trent Alexander-Arnold is not going to play part of the game between Liverpool and Manchester City, but he's setting the tone. I'll tell you why the Liverpool Academy player is the real deal and the best thing that's setting the tone for Liverpool versus Manchester City. But mind you, Liverpool have not lost only just once against Manchester City when they are playing in that game. So it's going to make that game very difficult to play for Manchester City. I'll base the fact that Manchester City are in a very good run of form and they've dropped point just once against Chelsea since that return from the Club World Cup. And it goes and dovetails into exactly what Liverpool have been doing with their dominance at Anfield. Anfield definitely is going to be buzzing on Sunday. And then again, Chelsea just needs to win 3 games to 5 games straight up consistently, and then they're in European places. Would that mean that Chelsea have turned their season around? Would that mean that the first season has been a good one under Mauricio Pochettino? Or do you think that Chelsea should go for the 5th spot, or maybe go ahead and then go as far as the Champions League? We'll talk about that in the context of Chelsea's recent financial conversation. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing me again. If you are new to the channel, thank you very much for subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. If you aren't new and then you are old, thank you very much. What I want to introduce you to do is we want to hear from you in the comment section. First question for today is that, do you think that Chelsea has to qualify for Euro before this season becomes a success? I want to hear from you. Again, in all the managers that have been earmarked to replace Mauricio Pochettino, should he be sacked in the summer? Which of them would you want to be the next Chelsea manager in that regard? I want to hear from you. So keep your answers coming. I want to hear from you. Get up. Let us hear from you in the comment section in there quickly, and then we'll have all the conversation that we have to have. But let's start like this from the games that are going to go on tomorrow. We'll preview all of that for you, and then of course we'll talk about the excellent stuff tonight. There's a big game. Barcelona supposed to play against Real Mallorca in the Spanish La Liga. It's an important game, especially given where Barcelona are. I'm hearing for the last few months that while Xavi has announced that he's going to leave, there are a lot of people also in the Barcelona board who think that they still have to convince Xavi to stay one more season as the manager of Barcelona, because of course the money that is going to cost for them to get guys like Hansi Flick to come in, the tactic of Hansi Flick, how Hansi Flick may fit or not fit this Barcelona team, is a headache for the board of the FC Barcelona. Also, quite apart from that, the coaches like Roberto Di Zerbi are also being looked at to possibly come and take up the Barcelona job in there. Of course, with the recent injury of Pedri, the issues of Gavi and what's not, Barca are being very careful with their next move, and all of that is in context of everything that they have to do. On the Spanish La Liga, Barca obviously on the 3rd spot, just 1 point away from Girona, and this very important game away at home to Real Mallorca is going to be a good one. You see, I'm not really worried about Barca's form in recent times, because one of the things I've realized is that anytime Barcelona play home away from home, they struggle to get results. And this season hasn't been different. They're struggling to get results because they are playing home away from home. And they need to find ways to get results and qualify for the Champions League. Else Barca are going to be in loads of trouble. So that's just the game that's coming up in the Spanish La Liga on Friday. In the Italian Serie A, there's a Napoli game. And in the Italian Serie A, these games are going to come up at 6-pointers, so you don't have to miss them. Manchester United will play on Saturday on the early kickoff against Everton at home at Old Trafford. There's Crystal Palace, Arsenal versus Brentford on Saturday as well. And then, of course, Atletico de Madrid against Cadiz, the Italian Serie A. Inter will be going away to Bologna. These are our top games. And then on Sunday, the big one goes on. Liverpool versus Manchester City at 3:45 at Anfield. And then on Monday, the last of the weekend goes on for Chelsea. So let's start with the Chelsea conversation. First of all, yesterday Blue Co, who own Chelsea. So of course we know that Blue Co is made up of some individuals and some companies. In terms of companies, there's Clearlake Capital. And Clearlake is obviously owned by Baghdad Egbali and Jose Feliciano. One of their partners, of course, is Todd Bowley, who is a part of the partnership. So these three essentially own Chelsea Football Club. It's called Blue Co. And they also own Strasbourg. I mean, they announced that they made an annual loss. And if you watch the breakdown, Chelsea, for one, made an annual loss of 90.1 million in the last 12 months. And I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans say, how did Chelsea lose that money? So in the statement, Chelsea say that it is part of the sanctions that they had suffered from Roman Abramovich's era. And then also, part of them has been that they've not played in Europe since that season and then this season. And I think that makes sense, because if you look at the 2 seasons ago, Chelsea made about 80 million from playing in the Champions League, getting to the quarterfinal, and another 8 million from playing in the Club World Cup in there. So about 88 million, that's what Chelsea have lost, because they've not played in Europe, they've not played in Europa League, of course, in the Champions League, and of course in the Club World Cup and in the Super Cup. So they've not been involved in these competitions. And of course, that is hurting Chelsea's purse. And it is in the line of this that some players like Victor Osimhen, Victor Gyökeres, Inaki Williams, who have been linked with the club, don't look like they are going to join Chelsea, because in terms of salaries and then in terms of FFP, Chelsea are trying so hard to make sure that they stay in line with FFP, and Chelsea definitely are going to stay in line with FFP. But you can't go on to sign extra players, and that's why a lot of Chelsea's opponents and then rivals are saying that Chelsea ought to make sure they sell players to the tune of about 100 million to be able to stay afloat and not go against FFP in the summer. While that has some sense in there, is the easiest way to go. But essentially, it isn't just about selling of players. Chelsea may offload players like Trevor Chalobah, Ian Matheson officially, maybe Kepa Arrizabalaga, maybe somebody like Tino Livramento, who is probably fully leaving also. And then, of course, all of these players may be going. But it isn't just about the sale of players. It's about Chelsea's possibility of qualifying to the Champions League and how they have to get that done. And for me, it makes a lot of sense. And if you look at the next games that Chelsea are about to play, it means that it's important that Chelsea gets a lot of wins concurrently in the next set of games that are coming, so that possibly they can go ahead and qualify for the next set of games, for the European games that are coming. So Chelsea's next games are very, very tough matches that are upcoming. Chelsea has a game against Newcastle United. Then Chelsea go on to go and play against Leicester City in the FA Cup quarter-final. That may, of course, lead Chelsea to go and play back at Wembley again. Chelsea has to play Burnley at home. Chelsea has to play Manchester United on the 14th of April. On the 7th of April, they play Sheffield, who are almost relegated. So Sheffield, Man United, Burnley, Leicester, Newcastle. Out of Newcastle, Leicester, Burnley, Man United, Sheffield. 4 of them are Premier League games. One of them is an FA Cup game, and Chelsea need to at least win 3 out of these 4. Of course, if you add the one against Everton, that's going to be at home. It's a game that Chelsea ought to try and win again. It's a game that Chelsea didn't win when they went away to the Goodison Park, by Everton are beatable, and Chelsea ought to win. Because if Chelsea win just 3 or 4 of these games, it takes them to set position, and it's about a consistent performance that are coming. Now, it's in the context of this that you go back and you look at Chelsea's injury issues and why Chelsea consistently gets injured. But while we talk about that, one of the things you also have to get is that some Chelsea players have returned from injury, and the likes of Kani Chukwuemeka has returned, the likes of Mark Kukurea has returned from injury. You look at the likes of Benoit Belachile, he has also returned from injury. And then you look at the other players that have all returned, having training and everything. But key amongst them who have gone out injured is Levi Cole and then, of course, Benjamin Chilwell, who are all injured and out of the team. Now, it's a little bit worrying, right? It's a little bit worrying because if you look at this team, look at where they have been coming from, look at the options that Mauricio Pochettino should have when he's going to games. It makes it difficult for him because if you have just Thiago Silva returning, and if you have all of these players that are possibly going to return on Monday, but still Benjamin Chilwell has come, is getting up to speed, then all of a sudden he goes off injured. It is worrying. But all of these are accumulating factors. The money that Chelsea is supposed to get, the matches that they have to win, the issues around coaches in the summer, and everything that's going on there. It's a tough act for Chelsea, but they need to put their house together and get things done. So Chelsea are in there. They're having all of that conversations on Sunday. There's a big one that's going to go on between Liverpool and then Manchester City. I mean, I'll talk about that. I'll delve into that. We'll just do a little bit tidbit about that game that's going to go on between Manchester City and then Liverpool, and then of course we'll talk about other things also that's yet to go on. So you stick and stay. Let us get into the conversation. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, it's important that you subscribe to the channel and you turn on notification. I want to see that now. It's imperative that we get our job done today. Jurgen Klopp has been speaking. Joseph Guardiola has been speaking. We'll talk about all of that as well. We'll talk about what Trent Alexander-Arnold has done. We are giving you the preview of all of these games that are going on. We'll talk about these things here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So just make sure stick and stay. Don't go nowhere as we have everything to talk about in here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So Trent Alexander-Arnold has said that if you look at Liverpool's success and look at City's success, Liverpool's success has been because as a result of not spending too much. And of course, that is true. Jurgen Klopp was asked that in his pre-match press conference. Jurgen says he wishes Trent Alexander-Arnold well. And I think that sets the tone. Man City will be coming to the Etihad knowing that a swipe has been taken at them by a Liverpool player, and then they believe that they are good, and it wasn't just because of money, and they will come there to come and win. But the history doesn't favor them. They haven't won in Anfield a lot of their times. They've won just once in about 10 years. It has been difficult for them to go and play in there. And again, if you look at this game and all of the things that's going on surrounding that game, the quality of play that's going to be on show, it sets the tone for stuff like that. And I'm very excited to see those things that will come on. For Manchester United, they're still trying to get Dan Ashworth into their team and building a proper sporting structure for the team, because it's imperative for the team to move forward and have some excellent growth in that regard. I mean, for today, we'll draw the curtains here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Tomorrow, we'll bring you some more juice across all of Europe. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. Thank you very much for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. And then make sure you take very good care of yourself. Take very good care of yourself. I want to hear from you in the comment section. Bye.